Very good evening to you, dear viewers. Welcome to West Nile TV, lighting up the region. Welcome this weekend. I hope you're having a very wonderful weekend. This is The Real Talk with me, Ayot Lillian. Every Saturdays from 9 to 10, we do this where we have discussions on topics surrounding us, where we see our problems and find out our solutions and all the sorts, And today we have a very interesting question for discussion. How do you relate with an ex? Well, breakups can be very hectic, like hard on you as an individual, and we've seen friends who go through a lot of hell, so we end up having exes, by the way, and we break up for various reasons. And for those reasons, it determines how we relate with our exes. Sometimes you can have mixed emotions where you miss your ex and you feel like, oh, I miss her, I miss him, I want to call him. But at times you'll be like, no, I don't ever want to know about him or her. So it depends on reasons why you separate. Maybe you loved him so much and he cheated on you. So definitely you wouldn't want to relate with him anyway. But also sometimes you love the person so much, but you have to let them go. Or maybe you guys love each other and you still feel like, but you feel the relationship cannot work out. Well, that is what we are going to be on today. An ex is someone who formerly held a position in your life or in someone's life, in a romantic relationship or maybe marriage, but now it doesn't work out and you guys part ways. So following from that definition, I know it varies from individual to individual, but here joining us today in the studio of West Nile TV on The Real Talk, we have two guests. They'll have the honor to introduce themselves, and together we shall discuss how you can relate with your ex, whether you should stay close to your ex or you should stay far away. Welcome very much to West Nile TV. Thanks for honoring our invitation. Let's have our lady introduce herself to our viewers, and we'll have a gentleman. You're most welcome.
Thank you. I'm called Andelizu Scovia, commonly known as Scovia UG.
UG.
Yes, I'm an OG of Moni Girls. I graduated in Bachelor's of Agriculture and Rural Innovation. So currently I work in Koboko District. I'm happy to be here.
Wow, nice having you here. There's something about these girls who study from Muni. They are very stubborn. And I can say Scovia UG is a very stubborn one. I wonder how your ex is. They used to handle you, but you'll get to know about that. You're most welcome. Please introduce yourself.
Thank you, Ayot Lillian. To our viewers, we are so happy that we are here. My name is called Emmanuel Edmond. Short form there is Eddy. I'm currently a student of Uganda Christian University, pursuing Bachelor's of Business Administration, majoring in management. And I do work as a media report writer for United Nations Mission in South Sudan.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, and I'm a resident of Arua City.
Well, that is a very detailed introduction from our guests. Well, one common thing I noticed is there's always a short form for their name. There's Scovia UG, and then there's Emma something. I think I should also be called Ayot L or something like that. But that it is. The first question I would like to throw. Tell me, how many exes do you have?
Quite many.
Ooh.
I wouldn't finish counting them because life is a gradual process.
Okay.
We have experiences that we learn from, and we move on from the bad experiences that we get. Yes.
Indirectly, you're telling us you had very bad experiences with your exes. Emma, do you still keep in touch with your exes?
Yes, definitely I do keep in touch with them.
I'm wondering what you keep discussing with your exes. But that is that. So, are you friends with your exes? Let's start with Scovia. Scovia, are you friends with your exes? At least, if not all, you should be friends with one.
To be honest with you, I'm not friends with any of my exes. Yes.
Okay, that's a hard one. Wow, should I ask why?
Yeah, obviously.
Anyway, let's have Emma. Emma, are you friends with your exes?
Yes.
So what makes you still keep in touch with your exes?
It's absolutely possible to be friends with your ex. Whether it's a good idea will depend on the situation and the people involved.
Okay.
You know, some people are able to have healthy, positive, and you're able to have a good existing relationship, you know. So by that, you become ex. At the end of the relationship, when you're ex, you realize that you had a healthy and a positive relationship. So there's that tendency where you are always in touch with each other. And then it also depends on the situation and the people involved, where, like my friend has said, that she's not in touch with her exes. That one always depends on the kind of ex you had and what kind of relationship you have been having. So, you know, you cannot keep in touch with your exes because there are tendencies where things become so unnecessarily messy, and there's tendency that you'll always go through pain again. So for me, I always keep in touch with my ex because I have the experiences.
Okay, that may actually convince someone to change her mind about not being in touch with her exes. Scovia, you said you're totally not in touch with your exes. So what would make you take such a drastic step, like to conclude, I don't want to stay in touch with any of my exes? What makes you stay away from your exes? Do you have fear of maybe going back to them?
No. I wouldn't want to go back to any of my exes. First of all, me as a person, I'm somebody who doesn't want to go back into pain. I learned once. I cannot be fooled twice.
Some of us don't learn, yeah?
That is the point. So, you know, being friends with an ex does not make any sense to me. You cannot literally be friends with someone that you have moved on from unless you have hopes of getting back with them in the future. But if you're somebody who is very focused and you want to move on with your life, you want to build your life, you know water that has flown will never come back. So we should learn to move on and build our lives.
That's a very strong point. Learn to move on and build your life. You cannot go back to someone you're trying to move on from. Well, that's a bit conflicting. You know, here this one is telling us you can go back to your ex, and then she's saying we should stay away from our exes. But like we said from the very beginning, it depends on what made you guys break up, the circumstance, you know, that contributes a lot to how you relate afterwards, after the breakup. So Scovia, that makes me ask, what's that one strong reason that made you not to go back to your exes, like why you broke up? I believe it has something to do with why you guys broke up. So what's that strong reason?
Yes. Actually, I've had a lot of experiences with my exes. One of the reasons as to why I broke up with one guy was because he was not trustworthy. You know me as a person, one thing I really dislike is lies. I don't like a guy who lies to me all the time. This is a guy who is a liar. And he cheats.
I know.
Exactly. This is someone that I cannot contain my future with. I cannot contain my future with such a person. This is someone with whom I'm supposed to build a relationship out of which we are going to have children. I cannot have a liar for the father of my kids.
You're a very serious mother, I can tell. This is so serious. You know, I'm beginning to like her, and I feel like every girl should reason like her, you know. Okay, it's mostly us girls who have this tendency of going back to our exes. You know, you sit with your girls, you say, I'm over him, and then when he says, baby, I'm sorry, you're running back to him. But Scovia is saying, stay away once he lies. I don't know, but this is, you know, it's a reason, it's a general reason for us girls, you know. Ask most of you guys, like 5 out of 10 will tell you they broke up with their boyfriends because of, you know, lies. Why do you guys keep lying?
You know, guys sometimes may lie, that is insecurity. And if you're in a relationship, there is that tendency where someone lies. I may call that as a smart lie. because you are
So
trying
smart
to,
lies.
yeah, they are smart lies, and you're trying to deceive her in that kind of lie. So whereby it's an insecurity whereby you don't want it to inflict into the relationship, because the moment it gets into the relationship, it will be like conflict between the two of you.
Okay.
And definitely the relationship gets to a worse extent. And it is not only men. Ladies are more smart than the men.
I believe
Definitely.
I believe you're not in touch with all your exes. What is that one reason that has made you stay away from that one ex?
What has made me, yeah, your question is right. I'm not in touch with all of them. But definitely the ones that I'm not so in touch with them, it's simple. Where I was in a relationship which never gave any impact to my life. You know, you can get back to your ex, or maybe you can be a friend to your ex if that relationship you shared experiences, where you shared ideas, you shared values, and yes, if you had interests, definitely such a person you'll definitely get back to such a person, because you knew you were growing up together, you were sharing ideas of development. And if you had a relationship with someone who wasn't causing any impact into your life, definitely there's no way you can get back to such a person. That's why I'm in support of that.
So how do you handle, you know, there are those times in life where yes, you can move on and you break up with someone and then you move on, but you don't completely move on. You know, I mean, there are those times, Scovia, you know, there are those
Yes.
times you remember the good times you had with your ex and you feel like, oh my God, I miss him or I miss her, I want to call him. So when you miss your ex, would you really be tempted to call your ex, or you totally can't? And if you don't, how do you handle it when you miss your ex?
Okay, by the virtue of the fact that somebody has become your ex, literally that means the relationship is done. If it is him who chucked you, you should build your life, learn to move on from things. You never know, this is somebody that you were never meant to be with. You cannot force things. We cannot force things, because you have better opportunities ahead. If you're going to stick to this one guy, you know, there are ladies who say, I cannot do without him, I cannot breathe without him. How do I begin loving someone else apart from him? Oh my God. Literally, that is a very wrong mindset. As a human being, you should know that people come into our lives, people come and go.
True, that's true.
People come and go. So you as a person, what matters is you yourself build your life. Don't give yourself hard feelings because of one person that you think you cannot do without. You can do very well without them. Work hard as a person. Focus ahead. These exes will begin looking for you because of your hard work. I have the experience. I'm speaking out of experience. Exactly.
Okay, I don't know what your exes did, but I swear they should make amends with you. This is getting serious. So if your ex reached out to you, you know, he's having a relationship problem with his girlfriend or, you know, her boyfriend, and then she reaches out to you, would you advise such a person, or you take that opportunity to actually try to work on your past relationships to rekindle your relationship?
That definitely depends on where I am. So if I definitely moved on, I will just advise her, being like a friend to me. I will advise her on how she should also leave the relationship she's in.
Okay.
Because definitely if she reaches out to me, it may find me when I've moved on. Because if she's coming to me, talking to me about her relationship, definitely she has moved on with someone else. So there's no way I can get her back or convert her back into relationship with me. So I'll definitely give her just advice that she can make use of when she's, in that relationship she's in. Yeah.
You know, I know there are people out there who definitely take advantage of this. You know, you still love your ex, you've been waiting for a chance to get to communicate to him or talk with him and, you know, see if you guys can talk things over. So if he reaches out to you that he's having a problem with his girlfriend or her boyfriend, I know definitely you try to take advantage of the situation. However, there are people who totally turn down the exes. You know, you should always be there giving people emotional support. So Scovia, I would still ask you, knowing well what you'd say. Would you help your ex if you reached out for a word of, a piece of advice if he's going through something in his relationship?
First of all, I wouldn't advise any lady to date my ex because of the experiences that I've had in the relationship. But you never know. I'm one person and you're another person.
True.
He might prefer you over me. I would simply tell her to try her luck. You get? Because if I literally advised her in a wrong way about the guy, she would obviously definitely go and discuss it with the guy, and it would come back to me. So I would love it when she learns the behaviors of the guy, the characters of the guy, while they are in the relationship. I wouldn't want to interrupt with it.
Okay.
Yes.
So that means if your ex, a girl comes asking about your ex, like she wants to know about the boy, you would have positive things to say about him. Am I right?
Yes.
So you definitely recommend him for another lady. But anyway, so Emma, would you recommend your ex, for someone?
It depends on the kind of person she was, and I would also recommend her for another person depending on the kind of person she's going into.
Okay.
Because we humans were different, and when we're in relationships, we're all different. There's a way you handle the relationship. Well, I wouldn't be in position to wish her a bad move from the relationship we have been in. So when she finds someone else and giving a recommendation, all I can say is good luck. But she will be the one to test.
Yes.
Yeah, and the person who gets into relationship with her, I'm sure the person will definitely know that, yeah, Emma was in love with you before. And the weaknesses will show from there.
Oh,
Yeah.
beautiful. So most people don't have a lot to say about their exes. Okay, when they have something to say, it's definitely negative. You try asking someone, where's the other guy you used to push out with, and she starts, oh my god, that cheat, that liar, that this and that, and you ask about her, oh, that whole, that what, that this. People, that's why I say it comes back to the reason for your breakup and how you guys broke up. But it's I feel it's always not good to speak negatively about someone. I mean, this is someone, someone says we almost became parents and now we don't talk. You had dreams of having kids together and all that, but people's pain differ. There are people who have bitter breakups that they feel, oh, I can't talk to this guy again. No, I want nothing to have with him. But there are these people who still long. Have you been in a state whereby you move on from your ex, but you feel your new relationship is not working out on you, so you start comparing your current boyfriend to your ex, your ex, and you feel like my ex is better than him, or my ex used to treat me far much better. And that brings me to the point, how would you feel if your girlfriend compared you to her ex-boyfriend?
That one, there is a way you will not feel fine, because when you're in a relationship with someone who is new, all you expect is a romantic relationship whereby the territory has to be positive. So if the person still talks about the ex, you will feel definitely uncomfortable. So I wouldn't be in position to engage in such a conversation. All I will do is put in my energy to ensure that the relationship I'm with her will talk positive things about us, not the past.
Okay.
Yeah.
Scovia.
Well, I wouldn't stop my ex from talking to his girlfriend about me. And I wouldn't mind about that.
How would you feel?
Like, it's a very normal thing.
If your ex talked about, if your boyfriend talked about his ex-boyfriend in your conversation,
I wouldn't
or
really...
compares you to the ex.
To his ex?
Yes.
Well, the truth is, the kind of conversation you have with someone always matters. I would not love to hear about your ex when I'm dating you.
A serious lady.
Yes. Because the virtue of the fact that you're with me, you should have been able to have what? Moved on from your ex. It is either me or it is your ex. I don't like a guy who plays me.
Okay.
Yes. If you love me, let go of your ex. If you cannot do without your ex, let go of me. Because I wouldn't want a guy to put me in a position of comparing me to an ex. It doesn't make any sense.
That still means he or she has not moved on. But we've had, circumstances whereby you are friends with your ex. Like you guys are totally friends, but you are in another relationship, and that has caused many people to break up because she is still friends with her ex. I mean, they call, they text, and you're the current boyfriend. There's a way people react to that. But would you be fine if your girlfriend still kept in touch with her ex-boyfriend?
I will not feel good about it because...
Why? Would you feel insecure?
I will feel so insecure because that one is just direct to my emotions.
Oh.
But I will tolerate to some extent depending on the relationship she was from, because she might have stayed with that person for long and she had experiences. Maybe they have pushed on for long and she liked maybe that person so much, and genuinely she might have liked the person to the extent that they shared values and they shared interest together. So when you've stayed in a relationship for so long, there is a way you will get out of that experience after a long while. Definitely, every time you're in a new relationship, the past keeps on tickling your mind. But all I can tell her is she should put her interest into the relationship we're in. But that is also a way of weakness. That shows weakness, right? So when I realize such weaknesses in a relationship, it's me as the partner to ensure that I put much effort and see that I cultivate strengths that will make her overcome her past. And definitely there we shall move on. Wow. And it becomes interesting.
Interesting. So he would, the first feeling that comes into that, knowing that his girlfriend is still, in touch with the ex-boyfriend, makes him feel insecure. But I don't know how you feel. You can still be a part of this conversation by going to our YouTube channel on Westnile TV and you like, and then leave a comment. You can also go to my personal page on Facebook, like it, and then leave a comment. Your comments will be relayed live after here. Scovia, I would still pose the same question to you. How would you feel if your boyfriend is still in touch with his ex-girlfriend?
I wouldn't really like that. I wouldn't like to see conversations between my boyfriend and his ex. It is not encouraging. Literally, you can do it, but you should do it when I'm not around. I don't want to know about it. Because as soon as I discover that you are still in touch with your ex, it means literally you haven't moved on from your ex. Keeping your ex as a friend, people have reasons. Someone might keep an ex to be a friend because they feel like they cannot do without them. They cannot move on from them. Why? That is where the attitude of friends with benefit comes in. And when we talk about friends with benefit, these are people who are having casual sex. Me as a girlfriend, how would I feel? How would I really feel about that? So I wouldn't want to date a kind of guy who is friends with an ex. Nah, it doesn't work for me.
Still be doing things.
Obviously, that is obvious.
My God, don't say it's obvious, because I believe some, if not some of us, most of us are still in touch with our exes. I mean, sometimes you need to call him to ask him, where is the gift I gave you? You have to bring it back. So in some instances, you have to call them.
Actually,
but she is right, yes?
Actually, that would be a point. As far as I'm concerned, it doesn't happen in Uganda. Most especially in Arua, it does not happen. Somebody who is friends with an ex, they call it friends with benefit. Those are people who are having casual sex.
Wow, friends of benefit, thank you, dear viewers, for staying with us. We'll be back after this break, and the conversation is on how to relate with an ex. I would like to make a special shout out to our birthday boy Simon Living, and don't miss him immediately after here at the late night show. By the way, happy birthday to you. Like I said, you can still be a part of our conversation on our YouTube page, West Nile, on our YouTube channel, West Nile TV. Leave a comment, we'll have them live here. See you soon. This is The Real Talk with me, Ayot Lillian, every Saturday from 9 to 10. See you shortly.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Get more for less on Star Times this Easter season. Cartoon channel for best children entertainment. New global series. Local drama on Mercula TV and football all around the world. Simply make weekly or monthly subscription and enjoy upgrade to the next bouquet. For classic or super bouquet customers, subscribe for a month and enjoy 5 days extra. Family time with Star Times. Star Times is regulated by UCC.
Left up across, guys. Wow, my name is Simon Living. The best team in the studio right now. Talking about Wendy Dance. She's done a great job.
Yeah,
a big shout out to all of you who have been watching her. She is gonna be part of this team every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region. West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Back from that break. This is The Real Talk with me, Ayot Lillian, every Saturdays from 9 to 10. And today our topic for discussion is how do you relate with an ex? We've been having this conversation together with Scovia, UG, and Emma here in the studio. Like I said, you can also be a part of this conversation by going to our YouTube channel and leaving your comment. It will be aired live here. And yes, let's start from where we stopped. We were talking about exes, you know, your boyfriend or your girlfriend still keeping in touch with your ex. And Scovia made a valid point about these people having, you know, casual sex, friends with benefit. It happens a lot. If you look at the trend of relationships today, you find out most people who still keep in touch with their exes actually still do things. But Scovia, let's throw more light on that. Would you still allow your boyfriend or your girlfriend to be in touch? Would you be comfortable with them when they're in touch with their exes?
Of course, I wouldn't be comfortable about that. Like I said, they can do that when I'm not around. But as soon as I discover, I distance myself from the relationship. You know, one of the reasons why people should be able to move on from their exes is, you know, usually when one door closes, another opens.
True, true, true.
You're limiting your life with a guy. You don't experience what other guys do outside. You get? So you should learn to move on. Just learn to move on. We don't know what tomorrow holds. Nobody knows what tomorrow holds, but that is not reason enough for you to hold on with one person. Learn to move on. Good things come to those who wait. You cannot kill yourself over a guy. I mean, just look at that.
You know, Scovia, you talk as if moving on is just so easy. You know, it's hard. It's really hard. There are literally few people who can easily move on from their relationships. You see some of those people who are still in touch with their exes. Like when you talk about the sex bit of it, you know, there are so many reasons why people, you know, hold on to their exes. And one time a friend, personally a friend, and she's like, oh, this guy broke my heart and all this, but I can't get him off my mind. And then we ask, what is the reason? And the reason is the guy is good in bed. And that was her reason for keeping with the ex. So people have weird reasons, you know. Just like Scovia said, move on, experience better things. But there's that fear of you moving on, and then, you know, the person you currently have doesn't actually have what your ex offers. You know, we have those exes who give good care, so it's hard to get them out of our heads. So back to you. What do you have to say about your ex keeping in touch? No, your girlfriend keeping in touch with their exes, and God forbid, like Scovia says, they're still doing things.
You know, that one, it definitely gives me a question. What if your ex is someone you had a child with?
Oh.
What will you do? Definitely you'll have to keep a relationship with that person, because you already have a DNA with that person. You know that? You share a child with that person. So there's that tendency you should have a relationship with that person, though not to the expectation of how it was before. And you also zero to the fact that you were once in relationship with that person. So you have to keep now a casual friendship. That person may be a business partner, may be a workout buddy, and definitely you cannot keep a grudge. You don't know what tomorrow holds. Yeah.
So that still brings us, let's go back to actually why people, you know, reasons why people break up with their exes. Like I said, some people, it ends bitterly, but for some people, you know, it's always a sweet ending. I mean, you're still in love with your ex, or both of you are still in love, but you feel like it's time for you to part ways, but then afterwards you guys realize that you still love each other. And in a circumstance where both of you have moved on, put yourself in a shoe where you are broken up with your ex, but you still, you know, you still love the person. How do you relate with such a person? You still have feelings for?
You know, that one, I have about 3 to 4 steps. You know, these are just tips to how to make it work out. 1, give it time. Don't rush into a friendship and which you are not sure about, you know. And then secondly, you should you should engage as much as you both feel it's convenient. And you should also ensure that both of you are ready for such a kind of a relationship that you're getting into. And then you being as a person, you should accept to have more space, because this might be an ex to you, and definitely is an ex to you, but in a short while the person may come back and say, let's be more friends. Let's be more friends. No, you need to accept the fact that you still need more space. And then actually both of you should be ready for the friendship, not only one person insisting that I want to be a friend to you. You should both accept to be friends. So when you have that in mind and you bear the fact that you're coming into a relationship whereby it is not more of the other relationship, you're already out of the dating process, you should keep some standards, boundaries where you come into physical, you come into emotional, you know, you should keep those kind of boundaries. whereby your emotional boundaries is something that you need to always confine. That is where your romantic relationship always is being touched. So when you confine your romantic relationship with that person, definitely you are avoiding your boundary with that person.
Okay, I love what you just said about boundaries. It's very important to set boundaries in such relationships. But we shall come to that. Scovia, let's be realistic. I know if I ask you, like, what would you do if you're still in love with ex? You totally going to say you're not in love with any ex. But there are people who are in love with their exes. I mean, maybe they ended their relationships prematurely, where both of them are still in love, or maybe one person is still in love. So how best can such people relate with each other?
About that, if you're still in love with your ex, you are unable to move on from them, the best thing you can do is to give it some time. You need to give it some time. You observe, you see what is happening. You never know, your ex might also get back to you and you resume with the relationship. But if you realize that he is not coming back, you're trying all tricks, it's not working out, my dear, you have to run for your life. You have to move on. You have to find a way of moving on.
So you find a way of moving on. And I'm still talking about people who have feelings but they have broken up. These are literally exes now. And you see, some people break up, you know, sometimes bitterly, sometimes in a sweet way, but you still find them stalking their exes. Like you want to know what he's doing. You know, what is his new girlfriend, her new boyfriend, what he's doing, the kind of life he's living. Does he still hang out in the same place where we used to? So is it right to stalk your ex? Like, why?
Yes, it's an obvious thing that you should do.
So why would you want to know what is going on in her
I need
life?
to know. I need to know what's going on in her life, the life of my ex, right?
You need to know. So how will that benefit you?
We were once in relationship with that person. So once you move, because me, I'm supporting the fact that once you move out of my life, we can't be having grudges. We keep the relationship. So once you're out of my life, I need to know where you are. Though I will also keep the limits. What I need to know about you is which relationship you are into and what kind of life you're living in that relationship. If you're messing up, that's where now the aspect of friendship comes in. I will have to tell you, no, you know what you're doing is not right. I'm not coming to her to speak to her or maybe to engage in a friendship that has to go into a romantic relationship, but I come back to her to talk to her because she's a friend to me. So that cannot happen when I don't stalk on her. I need to know the kind of relationship she's in, and then, yeah. But I will keep the boundaries, right? When I get to her, I stalk on her and I talk about the life she's living. I still keep the boundaries. Yeah.
Wow, I don't know if that is care or maybe you just still love your ex, so you want to know what's going on in her life. Because yeah, there are people who actually follow their exes on social media. They go up to the extent where you find someone creating a fake social media account just to know what is going on in his life and all that. So you follow them even where they party. You want to know where they go, how is he dressing. For us girls, we want to know, does he now have a car? For guys, they want to know, does she now have a kid, and all those things. People stalk each other. Scovia, what would you say if you found out your ex is stalking you, wants to know what's in your life? Why would you stalk your ex?
I really would stalk my ex. It is compulsory for me. First of all, once someone becomes my ex.
Before you answer that question, I thought you don't keep in touch and you don't care.
I'm telling you the story. Once someone becomes my ex, I make sure that I block you on all social media terms. I delete your contact from my phone. I unfriend you. And I have to assume that you don't exist so that I get my peace of mind and I move on. But I make sure that I have someone who observes you, what is going on in your life. How far have you gone? Who are you dating now? Do you have a car? What is new in your life? The reason behind that is it gives me motivation to work harder because I always want to be better than my ex.
Oh my God.
Yes.
All right. She has totally killed it. Okay, this is someone who doesn't care about the ex, like she has literally blocked you, deleted your contact, and doesn't want to know. But she has someone who follows your every move, and she still wants to know. Wow, that's pretty weird. Very weird. But that is how some exes are. Yeah, that's the reality. They pretend like they don't care, but people still care behind your back. And our topic for discussion is still on how to relate with an ex. We want to know, how would you relate with your ex? Like, would you slap your ex if you saw her somewhere? Like someone says, oh God, please slap my ex for me. I just remembered something. Like, you forgot to do that, so please slap him for me. So what would you do if you found yourself together with your ex, maybe at a function, at a party, maybe attending a meeting together? You know, there's always that awkwardness that fills the room. So how would you handle the situation?
Definitely, when you get into such a circumstance, the surrounding that you'll be in will definitely give you a direction. So when you find your ex in such a scenario, there is a way your feelings will be triggered. You will feel definitely weird because this is someone you're no longer together with in a relationship. But it depends on how the relationship also ended. If it ended in good terms, well and good, that is perfectly, it is reasonable enough that you will get in touch with that person at that moment. You will jazz, you will ask about how life is doing, how she's doing in life, and what she's into, you know, that kind of interaction. It depends on the kind of, how the relationship ended. If it ended in good terms, definitely you'll get into that kind of conversation. But if this is someone you ended the relationship with in a bitter way, being a public place, you'll have to control yourself.
Okay.
You'll have to control yourself. Definitely if the person sees you, even if you see the person, both of you will feel different. So when you feel different, that being a public place, there's a way you will definitely find yourself being controlled by your own emotions. And when you get close, you'll even pretend that you don't have anything bad in between the two of you. You'll act normal. You'll act normal.
You know, I know someone who, when she finds herself like in a place with her ex, especially at a party, should definitely break his head with a bottle. And then you have that person who would, you know, they would actually go, maybe start things like kissing or rekindling their relationship, things like that. But there are people of that sort. So let's go into this. We want to see, you know, is it a good idea to keep in touch with your ex? Yes, it's a two-way thing. Sometimes it's good to keep in touch with your ex because they help you with a couple of things, especially if you dated someone who is in your field of work. Maybe they would help you with work, help you with a lot of stuff, you know, this and that. So it will definitely be a good idea to keep in touch with such a person. However, on the other side, I emphasize, it may not be right for you to keep in touch with your ex, especially if you're in another relationship and, you know, you still have feelings for this person. You feel like if I call him or if I meet him, you know, things could still happen. So briefly tell us why it's why we should and shouldn't keep in touch with our exes.
I will start with the fact that you need to keep in touch with your ex because life is a process. It's just a transit. You don't know what tomorrow holds. This might be someone you will find tomorrow and may be very helpful to you. Or maybe this is someone you'll meet tomorrow and you'll rekindle things back. You can definitely convert the bitter relationship or maybe the ex to be a relationship. You know that? It happens. That's why you see those who have ended up relationships after some time, they get back. Yeah, they get back. So that is the fact that you can still keep in touch with your ex. But again, why you shouldn't keep in touch with someone you have been in relationship with, like how I said it earlier on, I do have relationships that I'm I'm having a friendship with those persons. But definitely there are also those that I'm not so much in touch with them because of the way the relationship was. It never had any impact to me, and I cannot be in position to get back to such a person. But like I said, when we meet, you act casual, you act normal, like nothing ever happened before. But the reality is, you shouldn't keep grudges. Yeah.
Wow, that's a nice one. So, Scovia, why should you keep in touch with your ex, and why shouldn't you keep in touch with your ex?
Well, I want to begin with why you would keep in touch with an ex. You know, there are some conditions that are so unavoidable. For example, if you have a kid with someone, it is obvious that you will not finish avoiding them because that kid is their responsibility. They have to take it. This is a man who has to pay the fees of his children. Even if you have broken up, he needs to be responsible. So it is practically impossible for you to avoid him. And then there are some other reasons as to why you would still keep in touch with an ex, especially if you're someone who has really been in love with them, you've been unable to move on, you're hoping that in the near future you might get back with them. Yeah, you might keep in touch with them, but we girls, we the young women who are not married, you know, an ex, there is a boyfriend, there is a hubby. Someone who is a boyfriend to you, you don't consider them like someone who is a hubby. That is why it is advisable to not only have one boyfriend. So, as a girl, you should learn to move on from your ex because you're limiting your opportunities.
Okay.
Yes.
That's an interesting one. And now we'll go to our YouTube comments. Thank you all who are catching this conversation. We have a comment from someone saying, hello Ayot, it's Nobat, your Obivora. Yes, of course, your ex is your ex. No need to hate someone. No need to hate somebody who loves you. Me won't hate to hear about my... Anyway, still going to catch that comment wherever it is. But thank you so much for catching. Keep the comments coming in. Is it a good idea for you to be in touch with your ex or no? But personally, I would okay, I'll keep in touch with my ex. Like I said, it depends on the reason for our breakup, you know. Sometimes it's good because you still need to call this person to help you in one or two things, and sometimes it's not good, especially if it makes your current partner feel very insecure, or if you know that you can easily slide into another, you know, relationship. And we have a comment from Simon Sugar saying, hello Lillian, I'm Simon from Yumbe. For me, my ex is my ex, so communication, neither advice. Thanks for the show. Anyway, I hope you get that the way it is. So you keep communicating with your ex, and some people, you know, they don't want to know. And I Kobwa UG, thanks for catching the show. I must say thank you all, Scovia, for coming through. Thank you, Emma. Let's have a maybe say a word or two to all viewers before we go out of here.
All right. What can I say? What I can say to the young girls out there, when an ex tells you that he loves you, sweetheart, first of all, you have to take cover. You position yourself well. Begin fearing men from there, because your ex cannot love you. You have to move on and get better opportunities. And then for those who have children with their exes and all that, you can be in touch with them. I have no problem with that.
Okay.
Yes.
What do you have to say to our viewers?
First of all, I would like to thank the management of West Nile TV for hosting us for today's show. It has been so interesting. And to our viewers, thanks for catching up with us. My advice to those out there is that we are victims of these situations where we do have our exes. So the positive side is keep a good relationship with those people. Those are your exes, but please do not have grudges with them. But if you realize they're also getting so toxic into the relationship you're in, keep a distance.
Okay.
That is all I can say.
Thank you so so much, Emma and Scovia, for joining us. And we are saying that you can keep in touch with your ex if it benefits you, but if you feel like it's hurting you personally or hurting your current relationship, then it's not advisable. Thank you so much for catching us today, whether on YouTube, Facebook, or live here. Thank you so much. My name is Ayot Lillian. This is The Real Talk. We do this every Saturday on Westnile TV from 9 to 10. See you again next Saturday. Thank you.
West Nile TV.